Hello and welcome to Matt's Yard Maintenance. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Husqvarna 455 Rancher, and we're going to talk about why it's leaking all over the floor. So I noticed the other day when I put this on its side and I started to fill it up, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, first thing you're going to do is grab a Phillips head screwdriver. Next, what you're going to want to do, put your brake forward. Now that that's forward, remove your cap. Next thing we're going to do is get the air filter box off. Pry that over and simply lift up. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take this wire right here and we're going to pull this out. That pulls out of there. Next, you have this clip right here, and there is this little connector. You're simply going to push backwards on it, just like that. Next, we're going to separate this bottom line from the prime bulb, and that is out. Next, what you want to do is you want to take a little pick, pull towards you, and then you can move that way, just like that. It leaves this part right here open. So now I can take this linkage off and I can simply pull it out. Now I can remove this rubber grommet right here. See? The next thing I want to do is I want to get down in there, and there's a fuel line I want to remove. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finger and roll this back. It's a little tricky, so I'm going to use a flathead. And we're just going to simply pry it right off, just like that. And now that fuel line is off. Next, what I'm going to do is get a 5 30-seconds Allen. This is on a gimbal. Next, get yourself a T25. If you've got one with an extension, that's probably the best bet. We've got one right here, and then we have another one right there. If you're having trouble getting the right one, you can kind of lift up a little bit. Again, if you're having trouble getting these out, get yourself a pair of needle nose. So the next thing you'll see on either side, you've got this little rubber piece and this little rubber piece. And basically, they just kind of like almost like a motor mount. So what we can do, we're just going to push these off to the side like that. Push this one off to the side. And then we should be able to pull this. Now we can see where our problem lies. That fuel line right there is supposed to be in that grommet. This fuel line right here goes under, and this fuel line is supposed to go right into this grommet right here. So we're going to have to make a new one and just insert it in there, and we'll be all set to go. You may be able to see this and you may not. Right down here there's a little hose that sticks down. We're going to pull that out. By the way, if you don't have a pair of these, get some of these pliers. They're a lifesaver. And there we go. Just like that. That's the end of it. All right, first things first, let's get a measurement on this line. So we need 6.5 inches of length on this tube. In order to get this down into that grommet, you're probably going to have to do what I did and just kind of take a little bit of a slice out of the hose, just so we can get it in there and get it started. All right, now we got that in. We're gonna look into the tank and just kind of confirm. Yep, it's down in there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I can. So now what we're gonna do is come up and under, and we're gonna push right into there, just like that. We can probably pry up just a little bit on this. We have routed that fuel line underneath the carburetor. So that fuel line is all done now. Now we can start the reassembly process. We're going to take our carb. It's a little flimsy. We're going to make sure we hold everything together. The middle part is obviously going back in first. We're going to lift up on this guy, slide this in. There is a rubber piece right here. We're going to slide this body into that rubber piece. I'm actually going to take this little rubber piece right here, this third rubber piece, make sure that comes up into that right there. Okay, see this little black piece that should be on the inside wall here. Push that under the inside wall, and then as we come into it, we're going to push over and push this over like that. Give it a little bit of wiggle, let it seat up. Next, put in your bolts, your two bottom bolts. If you have to kind of lift up like this, you can, just to get it in there. Make sure the ones that are going in the bottom are the long Torx bits. Next, use a 5/32 Allen. Your top bolts will be the smaller Allen head. Next, take this fuel line and get it on the bottom of that prime bulb. Next, take this blue wire and get this connector piece on this metal piece right here. You can give it a little gentle tug. Take some pliers. Next, we're going to take this connector, and there are some grooves right here and here, and we're going to seat it right in there. Turn the saw around. Take your finger, pull this back. There is a fuel line down there, this black one. You're going to put it on to this brass line right here. If this is in the way, flip this up. You're going to take this grommet, we're going to put it down in here, just like so. We're going to grab this linkage, make sure your hook is like this. We're going to come through this little rubber grommet right to the center of the handle. There should be a little spot for that white part to go. Okay, it's going to slip right in there. I can't show it, it's very hard to see. Next, your linkage is going to sit right down in here. Now what you're going to do is take this blue piece, kind of pry towards you a little bit as you push it over. Make sure this is seated all the way down, or else this blue part won't close. Right there. It's clicked into place, it's closed. That linkage is all set and put back together. Next, take your air filter. Push that into place. Take your snap, put that up. Make sure your brake is pushed forward. And screw it all back together. Congratulations, you did it. All right, give it a couple pumps. Get some fuel in that primer bulb. Oh yeah. Choke on. Well, that's it. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to leave a comment down below. And if you like this video, check out these videos. That one's kind of cool. I like that one. That one's cool too. That one's my favorite.